Hello and welcome to the Greg Fearon podcast with your host, Greg Fearon. And today I have the awesome Nicole. Do you know what? I've just realized I'm just about to say your name wrong. So I'll edit. How do you want me to say it, by the way?
Is that because you don't know how to say it?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got it right.
Okay, that's fine. Nicole Louise Winer, like a glass of wine with an R.
Fine wine. Okay,
Fight exactly that, yeah.
let's start. Hello, welcome to the Greg Fearon podcast with your host, Greg Fearon. And today I have the awesome Nicole Louise Winer, who's going to come and give us some business bombs and tell you about her journey and where she is today and how you can implement some of the nuggets in your business today. So, hey, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm awesome. Glad we had a little chat beforehand as well.
Yes, we did.
So, do you want to do a quick intro to the world
Yeah,
of
of
who
course.
you are? And
So thank you for having me. First of all, first and foremost, I'm excited to be here. And so a bit about me. So as Greg said, my name is Nicole Louise Winer. I'm a business coach, mentor, and strategist. I've had my business for 5 years now. Prior to that, I was working in global investments. I was working at HSBC for 10 years in London, in the city, which I'm sure we'll touch on some of about that today. And I was helping streamline back ends of the business, the ops across all parts of the business, marketing, risk, finance in Europe, global, UK, and all the wonderful parts, keeping people accountable, doing all that. But the thing that I always found really tricky, which is super relevant for what we're talking about today, is the balance. So no matter, I was actually really boundaried with my time. So I would work from 8 till 4, I'd have an hour's lunch, but that wasn't the norm. I was a standout. That was not what people did. There was an expectation that people would be working crazy long hours. And if you weren't working long hours, all that presenteeism stuff, which maybe has shifted a bit in the last couple of years with COVID, but not as much as we would like. And I wanted to change the culture, but it was too big. It was too big. It was too big, too ingrained for that to happen. So instead, I decided to seek out people who really wanted that balance and where it was important to them. So where they knew that they could make the choices. And now I support businesses to grow, start, scale, streamline, so that you can do all of those amazing things and have a successful, thriving business that you love and also not lose your sanity.
that sounds like a dream come true because you're right. That whole you have to be here all hours mentality shows up in the corporate world. I used to have it in my industries I've worked in before and in the business world. Like I've got to be always on, got to be always on the social media.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't have to be that way, right?
No, it doesn't have to be. And actually, when you take what you just said there into even as a business, so most of what I do with my clients is about online business, digital marketing, and that expectation that we have of ourselves from if you were a corporate employee, especially in that rat race, in that, high energy. And don't get me wrong, I am a high performer. So I reckon, yeah, that high all the time. We can feel like we have to always be online, doing this, doing more. And often it really is about simplicity and doing less, which, if you have a work hard driver, that feels really uncomfortable.
Oh yes. Don't worry. I think even in, my work, I'm still sometimes having to go, hold on, Greg, chill, relax. You
Yeah.
don't need to go and read that post. You don't need to go and write that post at this second in time.
Mm.
So is there a backstory behind where you've come from and something to do with your health that you want to tell people about?
Yeah, so definitely when I was working in the city, so I was in London, I was in Canary Wharf for like 10 years. I was ill all the time. So I had migraines constantly. My back isn't great. I mean, my back still isn't great, but the stress that was being put upon me to fit and mold into a culture that didn't suit me, my values, my needs. Plus, as an introvert, there was that high energy, that getting on the tube, really loud noises, bright lights. And I'm saying that now, I've got a ring light on, but I can turn that off, right? But the
Yeah.
strobe lights in the offices, the people, all of that was so much energy. And as an introvert, I'm highly sensitive. It was making me sick. And I didn't know this. I didn't know this at the time. And I was on migraine preventative meds for 8 years. And actually, only when starting my business could I even consider coming off of those, because I could start to prioritize my well-being, which was really key.
Mm.
Um, The second part to that is when I also started my business. So going back to this work hard driver, high performance, I was caring for my nan full time who has dementia. So I was really fortunate to be able to spend that time with her, and I set up my business in 2018 when I was doing that, and I grew a full client book within 6 months. I was really fortunate that
Wow.
I was fully booked. I was grateful for that. But because I was doing more, feeling like I wasn't doing enough, always adding in, I burnt out. I was knackered. I was exhausted. And after about 18 months, I said to my family, like, I need more support here. I can't do this anymore. Like, I actually, what I wanted was for them to do a bit more. But the solution was she needed to go into a care home.
Right. Okay.
After that happened, literally like 2 days after we checked her in, let's say, I was in bed for 2 weeks, lost my voice. You know, Greg, I love to chat. Like that's a sign.
You never know, really?
Yeah. And it was, and even actually probably, so that was like what, 2019, 2020, and no, 2019. And it took me about 2 years to recognize that I was burnt out, and I was recovering from burnout because I had pushed myself so hard that, well, you know, all the things that that does to your body and your mind. And I still have to watch that now.
So do you see a big correlation with people that you work with who are like, no, I've got to do more, but noticing that their physical health is just going down and down and down.
Yeah, definitely. And in itself, that's stress manifesting, right?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
not everything can be put down to that, but so much of what we feel and what we experience in our bodies is stress. So even as examples for myself, like if I know that if I'm overstressed, if I'm working myself too hard, my back starts to play up. Like my eczema will flare, my asthma gets worse. Like I've got all of the things. Like, and mine, I've got bad knees. They're more sore. They're sorer, more sore when I'm stressed. And it's not just because of physical exercise, it's because of mental load.
Yep. And if you're not, there's something you said earlier about not being in line with your values, I think that brings on so much more stress than anybody can actually realize.
So true. And you know this as a coach as well, like being aligned with your values is the only way to really succeed in life. Like, so for me, I don't think that I'm lazy, but I do like things to be easy. But I challenge myself on that all the time because I'm like, oh, but if it's easy, it's not enough. And you have to come back to your values and, like you say, what's important to you. And let's take the example of me caring for my nan. Like being there for my family is really important. My nan helped to bring me up. My parents had a business when we were growing up, and we spent so much time with my grandparents. So it was a bit of that payback and, like, you know, returning the favor. And that's what the point of families are and everything like that. And that's one of my values. But this was in constant conflict with my need for it to be easy, have space as an introvert, and also just have time. Time's a really important thing for me too.
Do you know what you said something there that I've really battled with is when things are easy. So when I'm in my flow of genius, because I can do what I do fairly easily, like I can just go bang, bang, bang. You need to do this, and this, go, go, go. And it feels easy. I'm sitting there like you said and gone, oh, must be hard. I've got to do more work.
What am I missing? That's the question that comes up. What have I missed here? It can't be this easy. What am I missing? Yeah.
How do you help people deal with that?
How do I help? I was going to say, how do I deal with that? Not always well sometimes, but that's, you know, we're human, right? That's why I have a coach. But as I help other people to deal with that, my clients, it is about coming back to, okay, what's the long-term vision that you have here? What are we heading towards? Where's the end goal? 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? How do you want it to be? And then what actions do you need to take today to make that happen? If that is to rest so you can be more productive tomorrow, let's go with that. If you feel like you have energy to put into X or Y, brilliant. But if you don't have energy to put into Z, we're not doing that right now, because you're going to face resistance. And productivity comes from energy management. Time management is energy management in itself. So when you look at people, I was reading an article on this morning. When you look at people who get so much done, and you're looking at them thinking, how do they do that? How are they getting so much done? And I can't do that. Oh my God, the comparison loop and all of that. But essentially what they're doing is they're managing their energy. They're doing things around their energy, which also, and I know you work with women, around your cycle, around the energy of that as well. As a woman, that is different to the masculine energy, and not just masculine, feminine energy. This is literally like the science of how our bodies work and working with our hormones. And a lot of the time for my clients, they're not aware of a lot of these things because they've never been exposed to that before. And I think also, to take that a bit further, in the personal development world, this whole you're exactly where you're meant to be, you've got all the answers inside you. Yes, for some things, but you do not know what you do not know.
Yes.
So the same with business, but the same with your health, the same with, you may know you want it to be different. You may know that it feels a bit crap right now. You may know that you don't like it. You may know you want it to change, but you don't know how or what. And having the right support from somebody who's been there, who knows that, who's an expert, has experienced it themselves, who helps their clients with it, is totally game changing. But you have to also be open to that.
I wish I had like a bomb noise that we could drop, because that openness is everything.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
I can talk to you till you're blue in the face about nutrition, but if you're not open to making the changes, you're wasting your time, right?
Absolutely. And I think that, I don't know what you think, but I think that comes down to like part of commitment as well. So what are you committed to doing? What are you going to say, yes, this is non-negotiable for me now, like I have to do that? And before we started this, and I was saying, oh my god, Greg, I didn't think I was going to come on today because I was not feeling great this morning. I wasn't feeling great this morning. I ate my breakfast, got my ass up off the sofa, went to the gym, did a Pilates class, then went to bed for an hour, laid down, laid flat, reset my nervous system, and now I'm here, and I have got energy. So you can tell yourself that you can't, that you don't, that it doesn't work for you, you're not the kind of person who can. If you tell yourself those things, you are right. You will always be right. Your brain's going to find evidence to prove you correct, but you get to choose how different it's going to be. So I could have stayed on the sofa. I could have got back into bed at 9 o'clock instead of getting my ass in the car while it was still basically snowing, which is mad, and go to the gym. But I went to the gym.
So is the gym part of your regular routine in your life to make you more productive and all of that good stuff?
I'd love to say yes. I'm making it part of my regular routine. So before COVID, I was very good with exercise. I have a PT. I see her once a week online. We were doing it face to face before COVID, went online, and it just works nicely online. So we've kept it like that. So that's still a commitment I make. But in terms of going back into the gym, I found that really, really hard. In 2020, 2021, I had crippling social anxiety, could not leave the house. So even as I was on the mat this morning, I was thinking, and the class was really busy. It was really hot. But so yes, I'm trying to make the gym back, like put that back into my routine, and it's work in progress. It's work in progress.
Isn't everything a work in progress? A business is a work in progress anyway. There's never really an end point, is there? Unless you sell it, of course. I don't know.
And I think this comes back to like what you're saying there, is about achieving your goals and celebrating your wins, but then having the growth mindset, right? So yes, I've done that, but I can still want more. And the other thing that people, I find tend to struggle to hold together is, I can be grateful for everything that I have that's got me to this point, and I can still want more. I can still want more from my business, from my life, from my personal development, from my health, from, even if you're already currently at where you feel it's peak. That doesn't mean it has to change today or tomorrow either, but you just know that you want more. And we're on this planet once, well, depending on what you believe, but we're on this planet once.
It's for once, yeah. At least.
Yeah, exactly. And make the most of that. Like, and the only person who can make sure you make the most of that is you.
Amen. So drop some bombs now. Give us some of your knowledge on how to grow a business that doesn't kill you but makes you money, because people are funny about making money. They go to open a business and it's almost like there's a resistance against making money and charging your worth, charging for the value, which is maybe the better thing. I don't know, you're better than
let's go with worth, because actually I have a very strong opinion on this. So when we say you're worth more, charging your worth, you are worth more than your prices.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the time when it comes down to not feeling like you can charge those, it's down to confidence, not just in your business and in your skills, but generally. So this is where mindset work comes in, and working on yourself, and really, and also if you're British, learning how to champion yourself, because obviously, and especially as women, so as British, let's go there, as British women, be humble. It's not ladylike to do that. It's not ladylike to be big-headed. Don't, squash and become smaller in terms of what you're celebrating, because no one's going to like you if you do that.
No.
But hold on, the most important thing is that you love you, not
Yeah,
like that you love you, and you have to learn how to fall in love with yourself.
for
And
sure.
how can you fall in love with yourself if you're continuing to focus on one metric as success? So I'm only going to be successful if I can charge X per hour for my services, if I can launch this product or service, if I can deliver this program. Well, no, you're also, and I know for your listeners especially, you're an amazing mum, you're an amazing sister, you're an amazing wife, you're an amazing friend, you are a brilliant yogi, like whatever the thing is that you are also good at. It's about having this crib sheet of, okay, yeah, I do want to have a successful business, but I also want to have a life. I want to enjoy life. I want my business to be able to be set up so that I can enjoy that life.
So does that mean charging an amount that gives you value and the client value, but also doesn't mean you're chained to your laptop having to deliver so much all the time? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. And I think the other thing that you've said, touched on there, is yes, it's about delivery, but remember that if you're a business owner, it's not just about the time you're spending delivering to your clients, it's all the back end stuff, which is a lot of what I help my clients with, as you know. Like, that's about the streamlining, the offers, the strategy, the marketing. Like, that's not client delivery. That's not when you're sitting in front of somebody doing your thing, delivering a service, whatever that service is, or doing, sending the project, working on the project. It's the behind the scenes stuff. And there has to be also worth attributed to not just spending time with other people. So coming back to yourself and the work you're doing, because if you don't see the value and the value in working on your business, this is probably why pricing is tricky, because it's not just about the hour you're with the individual, it's about much more than that.
And it's funny because coming from the industry I've guess been in previously, where your PT was for that hour and you charge for that hour. So back in those days, you had to book in 20, 30 people a week. Oh my God, hell on
Yeah.
earth. Absolute hell. The funny thing was all the PTs were sick, trying to help their clients become awesome.
We're trying to help their clients become better, become well, become fitter.
While
Yeah, and then even then that will bring up a load of stuff about like imposter syndrome. So like, how I'm a fraud trying to do this for people when I feel like this. And some of this also comes down to not expecting perfection. I was talking to my membership about this morning, and expectations. And expectations most of the reasons that we set ourselves up to fail or feel like we failed, because our expectations are not realistic. So when you're working with a service provider, like, I'm really open with my clients, and I'll say, like, I'm tired this week. I'm not perfect. I don't always have my shit together. Like, and if you expect me to, you're in the wrong place. Like, yes, I'll still support you from exactly what you need, but know that no matter what stage you're at in your business or in your life, there's always going to be things that are not going to work exactly the way you want, or there's always going to be things that are going to not be completely aligned with your values, and give you those growth moments to be like, actually, I can assess this and say, I want this to be different. And as you up level, there's new devils, right? So it changes.
exactly that. And that's why you get a coach like you to help them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And coaching is really powerful for that, I think, in terms of being able to see outside yourself. Because I mean, your experiences of you, you're with yourself all of the time. So being able to, again, just rationalize and think differently, like, yeah, that really helps.
And it's funny, I've been reading the Usain Bolt autobiography, and he had a coach, and at one point his coach was in prison, but was still coaching him, writing his training programs, and then what he had to work on, etc., etc. And I guess that's what we forget to put the value on, is that bit, like you said, behind the scenes, actually has massive amounts of value. Because if you don't do that stuff, you can't deliver. Would I be right?
Yes, if you don't do that stuff, you can't deliver. If you don't do that stuff, you're not going to get the clients. So let's go there for a second in terms of people pleasers and nurturers, which a lot of women are, not just women, but a lot of women are. And you will give energy, attention, effort, time to your clients, to your family, to everything else. And it comes to working on your business. And just like you don't focus on working on yourself, the same stuff's showing up for you. So you're not focusing on the marketing because, well, it's going to go to the bottom of the list, just like you're not looking at your self-care, just like you're not looking at your health and fitness, just like it's all ingrained. And actually also you can change these habits, but you've got to be patient with yourself. Come back to expectations. Like, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
And you have these moments of being able to like stay in a behavior that isn't serving you anymore and keep going around because it's easy, because your brain likes that, or to unhook this behavior and be like, this morning I don't want to get off the sofa, but get off the sofa and go to the class. Like, there's an unhooking of behavior.
Yeah, go for your walk. Just because there's a bit of snow outside, don't worry. It's not America snow. It's okay.
Thank God for
Well,
that.
it's not, is it? It's funny, like you said, the expectation is that it's going to be cold, yes, but it's not the Arctic.
Mm.
You know, you're not going to get chased by polar bears. So go for your walk, do your things. Yeah. So what other things do you see in the marketing, business coaching world that really just grinds your gears, and what should the ladies listening do differently? So go on,
Oh my God.
come on, give me a hit list. This is going to be fun. This is the bit.
Where should I start? 10K months in 60 days.
Oh, we've all fallen for that one.
We have all fallen for that one. This is the other thing, right? So your mentors and coaches have probably fallen for these things before. So when people come into my masterminds, a lot of the time they've fallen for that message, and it means that they're not trusting themselves to make the decision to invest again, because the last time I did this, it didn't work. Like, yes, maybe it didn't. Maybe those expectations were appealing to, that's the point of that kind of marketing, your lazy side. No judgment. I can be like that too. But we really need to start being realistic. If you're at consistent 7K months and you've been there for 6 months, getting to 10K months in 60 days is possible.
Yeah, it's going to be
if you're currently, it's small incremental change. If you are currently at 0 or you are currently employed with no time, or you're currently at £500 a month consistently, getting to 10K months in 60 days is not going to happen. And if it does, for whatever reason, it is not going to last, because it's not sustainable. You're not going to have the systems, you're not going to have the process, you're not going to have the mindset, the skills, the knowledge, the team to continue with that momentum. So having one 10K month does not mean that you're going to have one after the other either. So it's really about this longer term sustainability, really realistically mapping out your goals. And yeah, that would definitely be the first one. 10K months in 60 days. Just being honest with yourself. Like, it sounds too good to be true. Okay. Like, trust your gut on that one.
you've just, you know, and I'm sure that we'll give a shout out to Chrissy Hiller as well. That she probably gripes with is the whole, you know, you're going to lose all this weight in X amount of weeks and all the rest of it. And that's something I've done recently. All my programs are much longer now, because I realize that the change for some people might take a year.
Or longer.
Yeah. And it's not, you know, like you said, if someone comes to me, you've never trained, to then start training 5 times a week and eating chicken and broccoli every day, it's just not going to happen. So no. So go on, give me the next one. In
terms of business and marketing, what else would I say? You don't have to have calls to convert clients.
Yes, I like this one.
So, okay, we've all had those really crappy sales experiences, from probably window salesman, car salesman, or bless the little 22-year-old boy that turned up at the door yesterday trying to get donations for Battersea Dogs Home, like in the rain, bless him. Right, we've had all of that, and the feeling like we know where this is going. Just, you know, the thing is though, when you have a business, you are not going to be that spammy, pushy, icky salesperson if you know that's not how you want to be. Let's go back to evidence in your brain, right? You are not going to do that. You're not going to be in that push hard energy. What the flip to make around that, in my opinion, and what I advise my clients to do, is literally just think, okay, does this person have a problem that I can help them fix? That's as simple as it is. So let's go to a car. You want a new car. Do you like this one? Great. It's almost that simple with your business, right? That you have a problem, you need more clients. Can you help me do that? Yes. You have a problem with your business, you need to be more visible with your marketing. Can you help me with that? Yes. Like being really honest with yourself as well about what you can do. And like with you, Greg, somebody wants to lose weight. Can you help me with that? Yes. Now, timelines. Does that mean it's going to happen next week? Does it mean it's going to happen this month? Does it mean it's going to happen in 6 months or a year? There's no guarantee on anything. The guarantee will come when you do the work and when you show up and when you're realistic.
Amen. Do the work.
Yeah.
I love that. Go on, give me some more. Because I've got juicy ones that I'd love to throw at you as well. So go on, give me one more.
You go. Tell me yours.
What's the big one that I see that you've got to do lots of inboxing all the time? So you've got DMing people every day to,
And it's spammy. You feel like a spammer because, truth bomb, you're a spammer if you're doing that. The difference though in what you can do here, right? So if you want to use, I'm a massive fan of coupling inbound lead gen with outbound lead gen with outreach as well, but using the inbox messaging method with your warmest leads, the people who you already have a relationship with. You are not a spammy, am I allowed to swear? I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this.
Swear away, come on.
You're not a spammy dick if you are sending people a message that you already know, who have already expressed an interest in working with you, who have commented in something in your Facebook group, who have replied to an email, who have liked your Facebook post, who have commented on that. You're just asking them if they need some support and if they'd like support from you. The alternative to this is also don't just pitch, like build the relationship, make them feel comfortable to ask you questions, know that you're a good person to work with. But yeah, you don't have to also be sending hundreds of messages a day, hundreds of friend requests a day, hundreds of connection requests on LinkedIn a day. No, you don't have to be doing that. Not at all.
Oh, LinkedIn, is a wonderful place. I'm starting to get to grips with it, but oh my God, I don't even know what to say about LinkedIn.
I think they're all the same. I mean, on Instagram, you get, hey, do you want to like come into this influencer program for like $5 and you'll get 10,000 followers? Like, also no. On Facebook, here's my signature system to help you get to 6 figures in a day or whatever. No. And on LinkedIn, the thing that gets me on LinkedIn the most is it's a business platform. It is a social media platform. It's digital marketing, but we know people are there for business, right? And the people who reach out to you and say, would you like help with your inbound lead gen? I can get you this many leads. When you don't know me and you're cold pitching to me, the answer is clearly no. And also pitching you what you already do for other people.
But it happens on Facebook too. It drives me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, hey, Greg, I see you're a coach. How's business? Oh, what do you do? Happens all the time. It's just boring as hell. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I do feel sorry for those people because I would not want that job. I would not want to be doing that. Like appointment setters and all of that. Like I would not want to be doing that. And my favorite response, which is a bit tongue-in-cheek, it depends on my energy and how cheeky I'm feeling, is I don't need help with that. But if you'd like help with your inbound lead gen, then let me know. Yeah.
Read the profile, fill in the application form. Awesome. So are there any others before I go on?
Are there any others? Are there any others? There's loads. I mean, I don't know. There's so many, and I think the thing that's really important is to notice with yourself. You know, if you're seeing something that feels like it's too good to be true, that sounds like a crazy offer, do your due diligence. Like, do your research, have a look, make sure that the reviews that these people have are genuine and all of that. And the last one, I guess, as I'm saying that, would be around the passive income myth. So look, passive income is a thing, but it's about going back to expectation, I think. So you can create a product, a service, a course, a DIY program, a toolkit, templates, like meal plans, all of this stuff, right? Brilliant. Yes, technically, that is passive income, as would be affiliate marketing with links and partnering with other people. But in order for that to work, you have to show up. You have to have an audience. You have to have clients or potential clients and a pipeline to sell to. And this is where the strategic part of business comes in, right? So you need to understand that, yes, just because somebody's saying that you can earn money even though you're not a business, or you can book out your client book with passive income. Like, you don't have to work any hours again. Like these, how many hours did you say it was a week you were doing? Like 30 hours a week in the gym
Oh,
before.
yeah, it'd be 30, 40 hours of actual
Yeah.
people plus your admin and all that stuff. So you'd be doing 50-hour weeks
You don't
easily.
even have time for a wee. So if you do want passive income, like, yes, of course, you don't have to do any of this anymore. Yeah, these things are possible, but passive income isn't ever truly really passive, because the way that it works with the big marketers that you're seeing that are doing this, the guru coaches with the, like, I say guru very lightly, but like million, £2 million launches and all of that, they've got ads, they've got a team, they're putting ads behind their campaigns, they've got a team that's supporting them. It's not just them, even though they may make it seem like it's them, because they're probably personal brands, right? So you see their faces in the ads and everything else. It's all supposed to build know, like, trust. And not all of these people are disingenuine, but you need to remember that passive income is possible, but you're gonna, it comes back to doing the work. Yeah.
Like everything in life.
Yeah.
I think there's one thing that really scares business owners though, is about transparency of price, especially when you sell kind of mid to high ticket programs. What's your thoughts around that?
Is this about you asking about whether to show your price or not? Is that?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Especially for £1,000 upwards. There used to be this thing where you used to hide the price until the sales.
Mm.
Oh, I hate it.
Okay, well, let's go there. So when you hide the price and when you hide the price until you get on the sales call, what objections are you getting?
How much
Money.
is Yeah.
Right, how much is it? I don't know if I can afford that. I need to go away and look at it. To qualify your leads and make them richer, to make your time of better use, just give them the bloody information. What is the secret? Unless it is a secret because you're doing things that are snidey and you're offering different prices to different people depending on their budget. Like, you're probably not here if you're doing those things. So give them the price, tell them what it is that they need to invest, because then they can go away and do the maths. Trust them that they are going to be able to go and do that with their finances, and then check in with them, have a follow-up process and say, like, how are you getting on? Did you get to look at that? Have you got any questions for me? Would you like to book a call? Because then when you get on the call with somebody, it then more comes down to, like, belief. What's the structure? How does it look? The more exciting things, rather than like, oh, actually, we're going to spend 20 minutes dilly-dallying around me kind of telling you the price, but you not knowing the price, and then you not being comfortable with the price, and then me trying to convince you that the price is okay, and you do have that. Like, that's not what we want. That's not the energy you want on a call where you're working out if someone's the right fit for you, and whether they're working out whether you're the right fit for them.
So one of the things, because I've done a couple of your programs now, is about money mindset and how people are with money, and that's probably what holds people back from, if their product £1,000 or more, they're like, I can't put the price up because no one's going to buy. How do you get people to move past that?
I think a lot of the time, it's like what you've just said there, that's holding up a mirror about your money mindset, not other people. So you're basically disempowering people from making the choice by not giving them the information because of your gremlins. That might sound hard to hear, but you're welcome. So the way to really think about this, and I think, especially as somebody who's been in a corporate environment, this may ring true for you. This would be the one thing I'd say right now is, in a corporate role, most of the time, pay is something that you do not talk about with your colleagues. Okay. In British culture, we don't talk about money either. We don't talk about money with our peers. We don't talk about money with our friends. We don't talk about how much we earn with some people don't even talk about how much they earn with their spouses. Like, it's a secret. When you are a business, we've got to work on this stuff because it's just money. It's just a number. And you've either got it or you don't. You've either got the money or you don't. You can either invest or you can't. And also, let's go here for a second. Let me give you an example. If somebody is scouting your website, stalking you online, and I always say to people, go ahead and stalk me. I like it when you do that. Go on. And they're looking for how to work with you. How can they work with you? How can they invest? How can they take that next step? How can you help them? And they don't have anything there about the price. They're already, by the time you get on that call, they're coming out with those objections. Imagine if instead, which happens to me now all of the time, people say, I've been waiting and I've been saving up for this for 6 months. By the time they drop into your inbox, they've already been considering this. They've had you on their, let's go to the vision board. They've had you on their vision board. They know they want to work with you. They're working towards that. So by giving them the information, you are empowering them. And usually by not giving them the information, this is about your own gremlins. don't allow you to stand in the way of their success. Like, that's not fair.
Don't allow you to stand in the way of you, by the sounds of things.
And that too, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. And so do you advise your clients to have a low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket? How do you kind of lead their thinking around that?
This really depends on where you're at and how much time you've got, right? So if you, like I was saying before, if you're still in a corporate role, having all of that's a lot. Like, for you to market, to sell, to know what to offer people. But the reason that it works well to have a variety in your service suite, which essentially is diversifying your income streams, because you've got different products and services for people to invest in, is exactly that. If your dream client, most people say ideal client, I like dream client, because we're not going to go with ideal. They're dreamy, they're this perfect person that you want to work with, is on this trajectory of, they start here and then they want to move up the ladder with you. They want more and more and more. It's about, again, empowering them with options to take. So if someone wants your high ticket program, let's go with this. A lot of people say this to me, like, they want me one-to-one. I know that, right? It would be so much more powerful one-to-one. Yes, but they can't afford the price tag. That's okay. Come into a mastermind, come into the membership, because you can still make progress. Come back to expectations. You can still make progress with smaller steps to get you towards being able to do that. And having those different offers, and you've probably heard this, like, you know, the average millionaire has 7 income streams.
Yes.
We may not want to be millionaires. You may, whichever way is cool. But the principle of that is, it's different ways of bringing in income. So whether that is a more passive E-type product that's more downloadable, it's evergreen, whether that is a smaller ticket offer, like a low ticket, introductory, power hour, shorter program, then you've got longer term programs, then we've got one-to-one. Yes, it is beneficial. But as I'm saying this, if you're listening and thinking, I can't work all of that out, like, don't worry. One, I can help you. But two, if you have got loads of other responsibilities right now, actually come back to what we said at the beginning and do less. So think about how you can really build up your reputation, get in the client testimonials, get the experience and grow your confidence in delivering it that way, and then adapt from there and listen to what your audience and your clients are saying to you and what they need as well, which I think is really key when you're designing essentially your service suite.
Well, everything should be about the customer, right? It can't come from what you want. It has to be about what the client needs to succeed, right? Or their perceived problems.
It has to be a blend, I think. So
okay.
Obviously, like, if your client, so say for example, I used to get this a lot. I don't anymore because my messaging's clear on it, but they want evening calls. I don't work in the evening. So my customers wanted that. And I was like, no, hard boundary here. Like, it's not going to work for me. One, well, I don't want to work in the evenings, but my energy's not going to be good then. You're not going to get the best output from me. So I could do it, but it's going to be half-assed. Do you want a half-assed session? Like, probably not. So also thinking, okay, yeah, it is about your customer, it is about your client, but there needs to be, if you imagine it kind of like as 2 circles, like, this is what your client needs and this is what you need. There needs to be this overlap, magic sweet spot in the middle where both of your needs are being met, essentially. Like a beautiful marriage.
I like it. I like the way you did that. I'm going to screenshot that bit, and that's going to be a couple of that. How do you help your clients blend their well-being in? I know, obviously, you know, because that's important to you. So how do you do that?
It comes down to time a lot of the time. Because when we're busy, I work with a lot of women. I do work with men as well, as you know. But a lot of the time we are, and especially when you run a business, it's busy. There's so much going on. There's so much to do. And what will most of the time fall to the bottom of the list is that part around self-care. Now, self-care and what this actually means is not bubble baths, or it could be, but it's not just bubble baths and candles. It's doing what makes you, say that again.
I was about to get upset. I like a bubble bath.
Oh, you can have a bubble bath. Like, I can't bath. It's
all about Lush bath bubbles. Yeah.
I'll send you one. I can't.
I'll hold you to
that. But yeah, I think it's really important to prioritize your self-care and whatever that means to you, being a bit broader with the meaning of what that is. If that comes down to well-being, if that's about like self-care, if it's health, if it's fitness, but not just having your business as your life. Like, you leave a job to set up a business to give you freedom, and then your business ends up being everything that you do. And this is really hard when you are your business. So you are doing what you love So actually your business energizes you, but it cannot be the only thing that fills up your cup.
Yes.
There has to be other things. So a lot of the time, though, we prioritize our business, and even then we'll go to business, marketing, self-care, like in that order. That's kind of what comes in. That will go to the end, because you can see that by marketing, you'll earn more money, you'll have more clients, you'll be able to do more, you'll be able to launch bigger programs, you'll be able to have more time. But in order to be, we come back to time management and energy management, being the same thing, we have to be managing your energy. So helping my clients to realize how they're overcomplicating things, how they can create simplicity, how they can get out of their own way, whether that's about physical things or thinking loops, shortcuts to the answers. That is how I help them to improve their well-being, because getting stuck in your head, like, again, lots of women, we're overthinkers. I have ADHD, so I'm a super overthinker.
I think, you know what? I think the world's turned into overthinkers now. I think COVID gave us so much time to think. Everybody's an overthinker now.
No one's got out of the overthinking loop.
Yeah, I think everyone's stuck in it. Everybody, and obviously different levels and stuff. But I feel like even myself, sometimes I'm like, should I be doing? Yeah, no, should I? You know, you just think so. Yeah.
And I think the good thing with COVID was it was allowed us to shine a light on ourselves. So what are our needs? And I think that's the bit that then is missing when you're overthinking in the moment. Like, what do I need here? What's important and what do I need? And self-care, health, fitness, well-being comes down to your needs. What are your needs?
Yeah, where's your sleep? Where's your hydration? Where's your nutritious food? Where's your time in nature? Throwing heavy things about, all that stuff, for sure. So just something I want to just jump onto, content, because there'll be a lot of people who struggle with putting out content. What advice could you leave them with today that can serve them?
With content, I think the key thing is, again, coming back to expectations. So there are loads of programs out there that will say to you, you have to post 3 times a day, 5 times a week, 7 days a week on each platform and every platform and all of this stuff. Okay, are you going to get more success that way? We don't really know the answer to that. Okay, if we go to vanity metrics, which the world is wrapped up in, yes, if you're posting more, you're likely to get more views. So cumulatively, you've had more eyes on you, right? But when it comes back to energy, content creation, which is your marketing, right? It's your marketing platforms, your digital marketing, takes energy. It takes creativity. So linking this into well-being, and you'll know this, like, the way your brain works, if you're in a stress response, which is emotion, you're sitting in the amygdala, which is the back part of your brain, right? So it's where we are in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, those autonomic responses that keep us alive when we were running away from lions, tigers, and bears, or realizing that we shouldn't have, like, gone to the cliff edge because it was, you know, like, scary. Now those things are more social. So content, I'm not getting any likes, no one likes me, I'm failed. Right? We're in a stress response. We can't think. And to be able to content plan, strategize, make decisions, think creatively, which content creation needs, is creation. It's creating new things. It's creating ideas. It's language. It's the psychology behind all of that as well, and understanding all of that. That's a different part of your brain. That's the prefrontal cortex. When you are operating in your stress response in your amygdala, your brain will not allow you to be in your prefrontal cortex. You cannot, your executive function shuts down, because you don't need to consider what you're going to do to find your next meal out hunting. Let's go to the old brains we have, right? You just need to stay alive. So then you end up scrolling your feed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling comparison, all of these things that are not helpful. So with content, you have to be conscious of your consumption and that it's intentional. I've just recorded a podcast episode on some of this, actually, but you have to be conscious of your content consumption and how that impacts your creativity. Because if you have expectations of yourself, again, let's go to, like, you're an employee right now, you have little time to spend on marketing your business, but you've heard that you have to do this 3 times a day on LinkedIn or every day of the week. You don't have capacity to that, so you're setting yourself up to fail. You're setting yourself up to feel like crap. That is not the point of life. We want to set you up to feel good so you can do more of it, so you have the energy to do more of that as well. That's where I'd say about content creation.
Awesome. Cool. You've got some bombs today. Woohoo.
I've loved being here.
Hey, gonna have to get you back again. So where can people find you?
Best places to find me. So I have a podcast called Supercharge Your Business. If you're listening, it'll be wherever you stream. And the second place would be over on LinkedIn. So Nicole Louise Winer. I believe I'm the only one. There is obviously only one of me. And yeah, search me on there and connect with me on there.
Awesome. And to leave people with your kind of the one thing that they should take into their business, what would that be? What's your biggest, if there was one nugget to say, I took this away from this podcast, what would it be?
Don't let your business take over your life.
Mic drop. Awesome, Nicole. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for appearing on my podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. Gonna have you back at some point. And for the ladies listening, go follow Nicole. I'm going to put all the links to her stuff on the show notes. Send this to someone else who's trying to build a business. Nicole can definitely help you. And leave a review, and we'll see you on the other side. Talk soon. Bye.